All right, Padres fans, we got multiple injury updates, good news and bad news, all kind of lumped together in one video. Let's break it down on this episode of Padres Digest. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of the show that is just like, okay, we lost one to the Mets. Why are you doing this to me, Padres? We're going to make the playoffs. We're going to be good. Positive Pete video. If you want to like, subscribe, comment, share, all those other things, great. Always appreciate you guys for all of that stuff. If not, no worries. First of the injury updates, let's talk about a good one. And this is Joe Musgrove. And he has not had a subsequent start to talk about since he last was out there on Friday with El Paso. Had a great game, 70 pitches, touched 97, looking good on a lot of fronts. The update is, and hear me out on this, the update is that there is no update, and that Joe Musgrove, I think, had there been, maybe I'm completely wrong on this, wrong on many a thing in life, but to me, had there been an issue, we would have heard about it by now. Maybe they don't come out that night and say, oh, we're shutting him down. Maybe they don't come out Saturday during the day, but it's then Monday and we're now several days out from his last start, looking at Wednesday, tomorrow or Thursday of this week, him having another minor league start. And so I think we're kind of at the point where it's like, are we if we're not seeing any steps backwards and we're looking at start number 4 this week of the minor league rehab tour, Again, I've been way wrong on this, but it does seem like we could see Joe Musgrove back with the Padres as early as next week. Now, I previously had said that I didn't know where Musgrove fit into the rotation, and do we do him as a reliever? Do we do him as this? Him throwing 70 pitches and touching 97, I will say this. I am down to slot him in Randy Vasquez's spot, give him that role of let's throw somewhere between 70 and 90 pitches if that's really what he is capable of, and let's go from there and adjust until otherwise noted. Subsequently, then the question becomes, who do we take off? My vote, sarcastically speaking, because I have to stick with the way that this show's storylines have been established, is Griffin Canning gets the axe. He just seems irrelevant if we're already moving Randy then into the bullpen. But I'm curious what you guys think in terms of what move you would make. Going down the line, next person, just if we're talking about starting pitching, I was curious what the hell is happening with Lucas Giolito. And things are bad when you Google somebody and the only things that pop up are like from months ago. I cannot find a single thing on the internet about Lucas Giolito making one scintilla of progress towards being back with the San Diego Padres. He's just listed as being in the fall complex, spring complex. He's with the team still. He is technically a Padre on paper. Granted, Musgrove coming back eliminates the starting. I still just was, to a small degree, hoping that there was going to be some element of oh man, we got another dude back. And, Lucas Giolito being his best self, throwing changeups everywhere and slotting into the bullpen, that is pitching chaos insurance that we then have. But it would appear that we are not going to see Lucas Giolito again this year. The next one that we've got for you is another one that goes in the bad news direction, and that is that Nick Pivetta has been moved back to the Peoria complex in Arizona to continue his throwing plan. So not entirely waving the red flag and the white flag and giving up on the season for Pivetta, but I think that this 1,000% answers whether or not he's going to be back in time for his August 23rd deadline of making it back in order to qualify for next year being a player option instead of a team option. So, reaction number one is that I don't think we get him back this season. If he's going from one rehab start that only lasted a little bit, and then he threw a bullpen afterwards, and he was like, oh, no, I'm okay, I'm trying. to not starting again and now back in the fall complex with the limited amount of time we have in this season. I just don't think we see him again. That being said, I think it also is interesting. He is still trying to work. The articles that have come out said there's been fantastic communication between both sides involved in this process. Like it doesn't seem like one side or the other is trying to sandbag somebody out of money. So I would be really curious. I don't think that the Padres are going to take the generous route and be like, tough season, Nick. We'll still give you $23 million next year. But at the same time, I would be curious if having a season with this kind of an injury combined with his age and then not having that, so if he goes into free agency, do other teams get into a bidding war at any scale or level? Or do we still have the inside track on saying, hey, let's restructure this thing? You're not going to pick up your option, but we recognize that you had a bad season. And then we get a discount Pivetta that we can slot at the 4 or the 5 next season when we talk about bringing back Mize and King and Musgrove. And, we got a good pitching staff again next year. Maybe, maybe not. Curious to know what you guys think. Next one that we've got is just flipping over to the offensive end of things, and that is Samad Taylor getting his rehab assignment started. I think that Samad Taylor is... If we do the postmortem on this season already, I think Samad Taylor is the person that kind of low-key started the fire that ended up getting these Padres going. A little heat in the seat, if you will. Showed up, just played small ball, good defense, got some speed. Fits well into the MO of what the Padres need, given that they have the core group of dudes. So he is, after battling through an oblique injury, he is back to a AAA rehab start. I have to assume that this is, as soon as he shows that he's good and can swing sans any sort of internalized pain, then the conversation is like, let's bring him up. I don't think that this is, we need 5 games from him just to, is he even healthy? And oblique, this is not a restructured, he didn't get spinal surgery or something like that. We don't need to know if he's healthy. It's like, did it hurt or not? And then the question is, who comes down? Jace Bowen? Sun Moon Song? I less clarity on this one than on the pitching one. But I do hope that Samad Taylor is back sooner rather than later. The last of the injury ones also on the offensive side is Miguel Andujar has allegedly been swinging again. This is not a start of a rehab assignment, but yet it is a positive step in the right direction. I did a video on this a couple of days ago asking if, through no fault of his own, did Miguel Andujar lose his job this season, just given that we've had other people now show up and start hitting lefties, and that was kind of some Miguel's job, and then also now Samad Taylor's coming back, and so it does sort of seem like we, on both the pitching and hitting side, have gone from, hey, we're scant few options here, and we're out of our depth, to we have positional battles now happening. So this is all other than the Giolito and Pivetta stuff. Really good news for the Padres. I am curious what kind of roster decisions you guys are making, so drop a comment with all of that. Like, subscribe, share, all those other buttons. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.